If you're a content creator and you use LinkTree or any other third-party links page platform like Beacons or All My Links or any of those, then you need to watch this video because you're missing out on a huge opportunity to build your owned audiences, which will allow you to make more money, command better brand deals, and ultimately provide you with more security and longevity as a content creator. By the way, this works regardless of if you're a faceless content creator, you actually use your face. Even if you're not a content creator and you use a third-party links page, you'll learn a lot from this video, so stick with me as we dive right into it here. So let's get right into it by talking about what the problems are with third-party links page platforms. Try saying that 10 times fast, first off. Anyway, the main problem is you get no source data. Source and other UTM data is not transferred to each of the landing pages you have on your links page, which causes for inaccurate tracking, pretty much non-existent tracking actually. So this is the biggest problem and really the thing that's most overlooked because people don't even know what UTMs are, which I will explain in this video in a little bit, but they're not that important right now as we talk about the problems. Second problem is going to be that any of the links page platforms that do allow you to add pixels to them, they only allow you to add a pixel. They don't allow you to install conversion APIs or other tools that allow you to track data accurately. I haven't come across a single one that allows you to put something like Google Tag Manager onto the links page, which is crucial to being able to set up accurate tracking both with pixel and server-side tracking. And lastly, third-party links platforms are just extremely limited. They have very limited customization options and make it difficult to build a page that is truly on brand. I'm sure you found this if you're putting together a link tree. You can't even change the colors to exactly how you want them for each of the buttons for the whole page. When you add a background image or whatever, it ends up looking pixelated. It's really hard to get a page looking very nice in a platform like LinkTree or Beacons or All My Links or any of those. But when you build your own links page, which we'll talk about later, you can customize it exactly how you want, make it fit your brand exactly how you want it to. Plus, you'll be able to get accurate tracking across your entire funnel. So those are the problems with third-party links pages. Next, let me show you what the wrong way looks like and then show you what the right way looks like. So right now, the wrong way is you have your social media traffic coming from all your platforms. All of your social media traffic is pushing to one singular universal links page, and this links page has no source UTMs attached to it. It couldn't have any attached to it, which we'll explain in a little bit. But long story short, when you send all of your traffic from all of your platforms to one singular links page, as people click on each of the links on your links page, as they go to those links, the traffic lands on those landing pages and you have no idea that traffic came from either TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, or they came directly through your links page by typing it into Google. There's a bunch of different scenarios that you miss out on tracking when you send all of your traffic from all of your different social media platforms to one singular universal links page. So this is the wrong way of doing it, and again, it ends up with landing pages with no source tracking on them. So when people land on your landing pages, that traffic is not marked as coming from certain sources, which doesn't allow you to make data-driven decisions at the end of the day. So the right way is you want to have a separate links page per platform. So each social media platform has its own separate link, and that link goes to a platform-specific links page, which then on each of the links that you have on the links page, it has source UTMs attached to those links so that when people click through on any of the boxes on your links page, they end up on a landing page with source tracking. And all of your tracking is accurate at this point, and you can actually see the customer journey from social media click all the way down to your landing page, rather than losing that tracking by sending them to a universal links page. So why set it up this way? You're able to add platform pixels. Most third-party platforms only allow you to add the meta pixel and maybe a Google Analytics code. With your own setup, you can add any pixel you want and even conversion APIs. There's a lot of undercover ad platforms out there. Like, let's just use Newsbreak as an example. It's a new popular ad platform for the 40-plus-year-old crowd. So if you have an offer that resonates with people that are older than 40, then Newsbreak's a great ad platform to put your offer on. But long story short, you wouldn't ever be able to put that pixel on any third-party links page because there's no way that they're going to integrate with an underground ad platform such as Newsbreak. So they also mostly don't allow you to add even TikTok pixel. I haven't found many platforms that allow you to add the TikTok pixel to the links page. So even mainstream pixels aren't able to be added. And certainly you can add conversion APIs, which are very important in this day and age. Basically, conversion APIs are server-side tracking, where you're actually tracking first-party data, whereas the pixel is tracking more data that is through a third-party platform, so you can't push that data back into your analytics platforms due to privacy laws and stuff like that. So anyway, you want to have conversion APIs installed to be able to get the most accurate tracking possible. And just for the simple fact that third-party links pages don't allow you to add conversion APIs, that's the biggest disadvantage of them compared to making your own and hosting your own. So next, the second reason to set it up this way is you can build huge retargeting audiences. The most lucrative benefit of this setup is that you can build these massive retargeting audiences and run highly profitable retargeting campaigns to the people who already know, like, and trust you. So as people hit your links page, if you have the right pixels and conversion APIs and such installed on your links page, you're then able to retarget the people that land on your links page but don't convert or don't click on a link or what have you. And for the most part, when you run these retargeting ads to these people and you spend $1 on retargeting ads, you'll end up getting $10 or more back for every dollar you spend. Whereas when you're advertising to completely cold people that don't know, like, and trust you already, you'll typically only turn $1 into $2, $3, or $4, right? But with retargeting audiences, when you're advertising to those, you see typically 2 to 3 times the performance than you would compared to cold audiences. So that's a huge and really the most lucrative benefit of setting things up this way, and the reason why you want to set it up this way is so that you can add these pixels and retarget these people with ads, or you can sell the retargeting audiences to the people you do brand deals with, and that will help you get better brand deals and command higher prices for them. And the last reason to set it up this way, there's other reasons, but the last main reason is to collect better audience data. So with tools like Google Analytics and Microsoft Clarity, which is a conversion rate optimization tool that allows you to record the actual session, so as people are interacting with your page, you can see exactly what they're doing, what they're looking at, what they're stopping to read, what have you. So with tools like Google Analytics and Microsoft Clarity, you can collect more granular audience and behavioral data that shows you exactly who your best users are and how they engage. Which in turn allows you to, fix any conversion friction you have going on in your funnel and to improve your conversion rate of people who are landing on your links page and actually clicking through on a link. In my experience, typically you want to see at least a 70% conversion rate of people that land on your links page and then actually click a link. That's about the average, but the best performing links pages that I've worked with are somewhere around 85-90%. You really won't get much higher than that because a lot of times it's just 10% dead clicks that come to the page. But you'll be able to see stuff like that, like the amount of dead clicks that you get to a page through something like Microsoft Clarity, which is a tool you would absolutely not be able to install on a third-party links page platform, but you can if you host the links page yourself and you set it up the way that I'm going to show you. So by this point, you're probably like, what the are UTMs, right? So let me show you, and if what I explained to you is not exactly clear, then just go look on YouTube how to set up UTM parameters, and you'll find a million videos that will teach you how to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to Google, and I am going to search for UTM Builder and click on this first one, this campaign URL builder, and then you either land on this home page or you want to click on this campaign URL builder and come to this page here. So from here I have, let's just put a link, and essentially what you're going to want to do is you want to put whatever link that you're trying to add UTM tags to this website URL box. And then in the source is where you would put the social media platform that you're setting the UTM tag for. So if you're setting up a TikTok links page, you would put the TikTok tag as the source here. And then in the campaign medium, you're just going to put links dash page, right? And then that's all you need to add to your link to be able to tell that the person that clicked on this link came from TikTok through your links page, right? And that is how UTMs are set up. That is why UTMs are set up. And when you don't have this extra query string on the back end of your links, you cannot track anything really at all besides the fact that somebody actually clicked on the page. But you can't tell where they came from. You can't tell that they clicked through your links page, what have you. So that's the reason why you set up these UTMs, and pretty much any link that you ever put out there should have UTM link or UTM parameters attached to them. So let me just show you what this looks like on my page. On my Instagram page, I have this monetizationman.com/1. The /1 is what allows me to know, like, keep the page separate from all my other social platforms. So I have 1 is Instagram, I believe 2 is Reddit, 3 is TikTok, on and on and on. But each of these links have the UTM tags on them. So if I click on, let's just click on this one. If I click over to the click website, as you can see, it says UTM source equals Instagram and UTM medium equals the Monetization Man links page. So since I have the John Kane links page and the Monetization Man links page, I separate the two by naming them in the medium, right? But then I can see that within Google Analytics, I can see where the click is coming from. Or in Shopify for this particular store, I can see if I was to convert and buy through this page, then it would show up in my Shopify backend as the person came from Instagram and they came through the Monetization Man links page before they bought one of the Click Proto mouses. So that is the reason why you set up UTMs, and I hope that that is clear enough. And if not, again, you can look up a video on how to set up UTMs if you want to. Next, I'm just going to go over a couple quick tips. So number one is when your analytics are on point, you can make informed decision. That's the whole reason of doing this. So most content creators aren't looking at their analytics data at all outside of the social media platforms. Like they're looking at their views, they're looking at their average view duration, stuff like that, right? But they're not looking at their actual traffic analytics data, which opens a huge opportunity for the creators who do embrace data and go all in on making sure that the data that they collect is accurate. Most aren't even looking at the data, let alone collecting it. So when you actually put all of the data you can collect to use, you can scale quicker, command better brand deals, and provide your audience with more of what they want. A lot of the times, the best decisions come out of this analytics data. It'll tell you what's wrong with your funnels, or what's wrong with your messaging, or what's wrong with the different things that you're doing, or what's working, right? Like that's what you see when you're, and I'm sure you're familiar with this as a content creator, as you're looking at your stats inside a YouTube studio, for example. You'll see like average view duration, you'll see the swipe versus swiped away percentage, and you're probably constantly looking at those two metrics and seeing, which ones are the highest compared to the average, right? And you're trying to figure out why those things are performing as well as they are to repeat the success. And that's the same thing that you're able to do with this sort of traffic data rather than social media platform data, right? So that's the big reason why you want to set up your tracking and analytics outside of your social media platforms, because then you can collect all this data and make similar decisions to how you optimize your marketing and advertising as a whole, right? But the big thing again is just think of how many people do not do this. If you're the 5% of creators that do this, you're instantly at an advantage compared to the other 95%. And this is extremely easy to set up. It really is. It's a no-brainer, and it actually saves you money in the long run by doing it this way compared to using a third-party links page platform that you have to pay a premium price for less features and functionality. Anyway, tip 2 is going to be start collecting your data now so that you can leverage it ASAP. And you cannot collect data retroactively, so any of the data that you missed up to this point is as good as gone. Make sure you set up your tracking and analytics tools as soon as possible so that you start collecting data, especially retargeting audiences, as soon as possible. Retargeting audiences aren't just great for your own advertising purposes, but can also be leveraged to demand much more lucrative brand deals, which is really a little sneaky hack that most people don't even think about. But that's also because most content creators don't even know what the heck retargeting audiences are, what retargeting ads are, let alone what the benefits are of them or how they perform, what have you. So how could they know to sell it to brands? But if you know what retargeting audiences are, you know how to set up retargeting ads, you know how lucrative they are, you're then able to have a conversation with the people you're doing brand deals with and be like, look, if I advertise your stuff to my retargeting audiences, I'm going to make many more sales, or I'm going to make exponentially more sales than the content creators that you typically work with that aren't offering you access to their retargeting audiences, right? And then you just end up looking like a big brain, and these brands are going to keep coming back to you because you brought up an idea as far as giving them access to your retargeting audiences when nobody else even thought of that, right? So just start collecting your data now so that you can leverage it ASAP, whether you run your own ads to it or you start leveraging it in brand deal scenarios. From there, I'm just going to show you how my links pages are set up in the back end so you can get a quick glance of the behind the scenes of this and see how simple it really is at the end of the day. So we're over here in my high level account. This is where I host my links pages at. I have a links page for each of the social media platforms that I'm on. Long story short, each one of them looks exactly the same, so I'll open 2 of them And you can see they're literally the same page as I switch back and forth between them. No difference. The only difference is the UTM tags that are in there. So like this one is just my direct links page, my main links page. So it's the source is direct, and the medium is monetization man links page. And then I believe this is but the source is Instagram, and the medium's monetization man links page. So basically what I do is I create a main links page, and then I duplicate it out for each of the social platforms that I'm on, and I switch the UTM tags on each of them. And I also have them all linked up, so if I make a change on one of them, it changes the design on all of them. Or if I add an extra link to one of them, it adds that box to all of them. So nice and simple. It really doesn't take much more than just creating the links page once and copying it out multiple times. It's a pretty easy process. And honestly, for the amount of work that you have to put into this, it's so worth doing. But yeah, that's about it as far as the links pages go, or at least the way that I have my links pages set up. So lastly, let's go over a quick 3-step action plan. Like if you actually want to take action on what I taught you here today, these are the steps that you would take. So step 1, you want to build your own links page. Use a tool like High Level to create and manage your own links pages. You can use ClickFunnels, you can use WordPress, you can use Webflow, you can use Framer, you can use Shopify. You can use whatever website platform that you're most comfortable with that you could then set up links pages in that look good, right? If you want to use High Level and copy my templates, I'll leave a link below in the description for you to be able to do so. And that's what I would highly recommend, because High Level honestly has everything you could possibly need in one ecosystem as far as being able to build links pages, websites, all your emails, you have a CRM in there, everything you could possibly need to run your business and more is inside a High Level, inside one tool. So that's why I use it, and I totally recommend it. You can't use my templates on any other platform, just so you know, so downloading my templates won't do you any good unless you use High Level. For step 2, you're going to want to add tracking to the links pages you just built. So you set up all of the necessary pixels and analytics tools and add them to your links and landing pages. So you add them both to your links page and your landing pages as far as the pixels and conversion APIs and all that, so you can see all the data as they go from social media to the links page to the landing pages, and then become a lead or a customer. And then finally, step 3, you start collecting data. So once everything is set up, you can kick back and watch the data roll in. There's no ongoing management required. It's as simple as that. And once you're collecting data, probably after about 15 to 30 days, you'll actually be able to see enough data that will be actionable. Like once you set it up the first day or first week or so, the data won't really mean anything because it's not statistically significant, right? But after a couple weeks to a month, and especially after a month, from there on out, the data is considered actionable and statistically significant, and you can start looking at it to make data-driven decisions as far as optimizing everything to make more money, grow faster, blah blah blah. And that's about it. Hopefully I have helped you understand why you don't want to use LinkTree or any other third-party links page platform. If you want to learn more about monetization, how to make more money from your audience as a content creator, then just make sure you subscribe to me for more, as I'm going to be coming out with lots of videos like this where I'm just dropping tons of value when it comes to monetization. I'm an open book here, and I'm not going to hold anything back from you. So thank you again for watching this video, and subscribe for more.